I'd be amazed if this ends up being even better than the original Spider-Verse arc. So Sony has just revealed the second trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I've gotta say I'm a little more interested than I originally was. Because initially my greatest concerns about this movie was the fact that it was going to be a bit of a mess, in that it was going to be more of a Spider-Verse film as opposed to a Miles Morales origin story, but it does seem like in this trailer I was just being paranoid about that idea the entire time. Because in this is very much a Miles Morales story through and through, as we do get to see glimpses on what makes Miles Morales unique in comparison to Peter Parker, and we even get to see some moments featuring him and his father, who actually hates superhumans, which is something that was carried over from the Ultimate comics. So it should be pretty interesting to see how this movie handles with that certain aspect of their relationship, given how this is more or less a Miles Morales origin story. Plus we also get to see glimpses of the Green Goblin, who is somewhat of an amalgamation between the 616 Green Goblin as well as the Ultimate Green Goblin. So it does seem like this movie will be playing around a lot with the Spider-Man mythos, and they're pretty much doing their own spin on each character, which is something that I find refreshing. And it does appear that Peter Parker will appear a lot more in this film than we originally thought, and it does appear that the older Peter Parker will be mentoring Miles Morales, and that this is going to be somewhat of a passing of the torch storyline. But throughout the trailer you do get to see plenty of motifs that you would normally see when reading a comic book, such as seeing the boxes and even some sound effects, like how whenever someone would make a punch you can easily see pow, which I think this could totally work given how this is going to be an animated movie, and it creates that illusion in that this is a comic book coming to life, in which does perfectly blend in with the animation style. And going back to the older Peter Parker in this movie, it does seem like that he will be a bit of a prick, in that he's going to be a bit more like Tony Stark in a sense, where he is going to be that rough teacher. But given how this Peter Parker is going to be from another universe, it is cool that we're going to see a completely different side to this character. And what I find rather fascinating is the fact that Peter Parker keeps on telling Miles Morales to not necessarily follow in his footsteps, but rather do things his own way. And it is really important to focus on what makes Miles Morales different from Peter Parker, so it is quite nice to see this film explore their relationship and what makes them so different from one another. And plus we also get to see a bit more from the Prowler in this movie, and it does appear at this point that he might end up being the main villain, or at the very least one of the main antagonists. Whatever his plan is, or even so much who is donning the Prowler identity, still remains a mystery. And we even get to see glimpses of what we can all assume is going to be the Kingpin in this film, given how he was rumoured to be in this movie. Which is pretty interesting given how Marvel pretty much has the rights to the Kingpin character. Unless of course Kingpin is one of these characters in that both Marvel and Sony can share. And the final reveal in this trailer is the fact that we will get to see Gwen Stacy donning the Spider-Gwen identity, and she looks absolutely spot on. Plus it's not really a surprise to see this character in this film given how we will get to see at least a few more Spider characters in this movie, since this film is going to be a loose adaptation of the Spider-Verse arc. But ultimately this trailer has me all the more interested in this film, because like I said earlier I did have that worry in that this was going to be focusing more on the Spider-Verse aspect than Miles Morales' origin story, but in hindsight it's the other way round, which is kind of what I prefer anyway. And I can't deny that this movie does look incredibly unique, which does help it have its own identity. So what do you think of the second trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Does this trailer have you all the more excited into seeing this film, or are you still somewhat skeptical about the whole idea of a Spider-Verse movie? Comment below and share some thoughts. And as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. Take care and have a good one.